I really and truly have no idea whether the coat of arms on the screen are truly Connor, Connors or O'Connor. I've only got them there so that you can have something to watch while I rabbit on. I've been researching the family tree now for over 40 years. And back in the day, my mother told me that her grandfather's name was William Patrick O'Connor and the wife's name was Annie Ahern. Correct. She told me that his father's name was John and John's wife was Joanna and that they were first cousins. All these years later, this has been proven to be incorrect and we're going to find out the full story of the O'Connor family in Australia over the next few minutes. So let's get this show on the road. Around about May of 2019, I decided to take an ancestry DNA test. Many years ago, I had taken one with family tree DNA, but it cost me a fortune at the time, massive amount of money, in the early days of DNA. But I decided to do an ancestry DNA simply because I felt that most people were with Ancestry.com. Well, that's the way I saw it. So anyway, I had 3 test kits in all tested. 2 they couldn't get any DNA from. The third one they did. And after waiting quite a long time, I had a shout out from 2 people in America saying that we were cousins, and this was all through the DNA. And Jerry from Arizona and John from Philadelphia are both of my O'Connor family, and we actually go back to the same, great-grandfather. We share the same great-grandfather, who happens to be Daniel O'Connor, or as you like it, Daniel Connor. And Daniel was born on the 3rd of February 1824. He died in 1893. His wife was Honora Flynn, the 3rd of May 1875. So Daniel and Honora are actually what were thought to have been John O'Connor and Joanna O'Connor. Here we are with the first O'Connors in Australia, William O'Connor and Annie Ahern. I don't know where the William Patrick came from, but William Patrick is certainly held in family legend, but his baptismal certificate only read William O'Connor. William O'Connor was born, as far as I can recall, at 1846, according to shipping records. But he was christened by Father Hogan on the 25th of February 1847, and the sponsors were David Gorman and Mary Connor. They set sail on the ship, the Aberdeen, on the 11th of September 1884, which was a Thursday, from Plymouth, England. William's cost of passage is unknown. The date of arrival was the 13th of April 1886, was a Tuesday. His age was listed as 31 years, and the passage took 48 days. On board the same ship, the Aberdeen, was his future wife-to-be, Annie Ahern. Annie Ahern was a single migrant with a cost of passage of £2, and her age was listed as 20. So she was quite a lot younger than William. On board the ship was also Annie's sister, Julia Ahern, and she was 24. So that's where the O'Connor family started here in Australia. The husband came out on his own, and Julia, his wife, came out with her sister in 1884. Here is the only photo I have of William with two of the boys. The two boys are John on the left, 1890 to 1950. He never married. And James, 1903 to 1976. The second and third sons are missing from this photo, as is a daughter. The second son was Timothy Ahern, so they gave him a second Christian name of his mother, 1879 to 1965, and Morris, Uncle Maury. I knew of Maury, I knew where he lived, but I don't think I ever met the man. 1899 to 1979. So here is a better photo of John. See, the trouble with these photos are they're taken from that master photo that I had up, and they're not good quality at all. That's all I have, which is sad. James and Mary Josephine O'Connor. So they're the three photos I have of the children. So that's all I can show you. Now this next photo is the actual clan. So you've got William and Annie at the top, the parents, got John, William Patrick, which was my grandfather, Mary Josephine, Timothy A, and Morris Vincent, and then Jane. So it is with sadness that we come and say farewell to the first O'Connors who set their feet on Australian soil. The first one to die was Annie, the wife of William, so that's Annie Ahern, died on the 12th of April 1933 at 67 years, and William lived quite a bit longer. He was her husband, as I said before, died on the 27th of December 1938, aged 88 years, and they were both natives of Cork. Mother tells me that she remembers very well the death of William. She would have been about 18 at the time. He had a bad cancer, and Mother used to say that you could always smell burning sugar in the house to take the smell away. Next we come to a grave that was alongside Annie and William. It was sort of a bits and pieces sort of grave, if you like. You see the very bottom name there, John. Now John was their eldest child, who died on the 27th of October 1950, managing to only get to 60 years. Now on the very top there is Margaret Teresa Ahern, who was a sister of Annie. I don't know when she arrived in Australia, but I certainly know that she died on the 15th of May 1835 at 73 years. Actually, her birth date was 1862. Now, Kevin John was the child of Timothy Ahern O'Connor, who was the child of William and Annie, and Kevin John Nair is their child who lived a mere 8 days. And the sad thing is that Timothy Ahern O'Connor and his wife Hilda Butley also buried their only other child in 1937. So now we come to my immediate grandparents, William Patrick O'Connor. Actually, I say there that they were the first generation born in Australia. They weren't really, because William O'Connor and Annie Ahern had kids, so they would have been really the first. So that's rubbish. Anyway, you've got Lily Mary Sheehy. Now, Lily Mary Sheehy was born on the 8th of the 8th, 1892, and she died on the 5th of the 5th, 1953. Now, her birth certificate wasn't registered until 1915 as Pitt Street, Sydney. Now, I assume that would be a solicitor's office, as she was about to be getting married to Bill. Interesting. She was born in Minto, but that's another story. The Sheehys have always held a much more prominent part in the family. For some reason, I don't know why. I just don't know why. Now, William Patrick O'Connor, we'll call him the second, was born on the 8th of January 1893 in Paddington, and he died on the 13th of November 1961, and he died alone in his unit at Bondi Junction, and he'd been dead for probably close to a week. As a matter of fact, getting back to my grandmother, Lily Mary O'Connor, she'd been away from the church for many, many years, and she woke up on Easter Sunday in 1953 and decided to go down to Mass, and she died in the church on Easter Sunday 1953. Now here we go. This is it's a group photograph, probably about 1935. It's a group photograph of the young ones, really. My mother there is on the left, Marie Kathleen. To her right is Edward Michael, then grandmother Lily, then at the back William Patrick O'Connor III, who was a De La Salle teaching brother and a genius of a man. He died at 43 years, sadly. And the lady on the right is the eldest of the children, Lillian Josephine O'Connor. I know Mum was 15, Eddie would have been probably 13 or 14, I would think. Lily was the eldest, she was born in 15. But there you go. So that's that one. Now, the next photo is again, but this time with grandmother and grandfather. You've got Lily and Josephine on the left, my grandmother Lily Mary in the middle, and William Patrick there, the third from the left, and my mother, Mary Kathleen, on the right. I must apologise, I did miss one child of Nan and Pop, and that was young Terence James O'Connor. He was born on the 10th of June 1921 and died on the 15th of July the same year, 1921. So here we have the O'Connor second generation, Lillian and well, not Lillian, it's just Lily and William, definitely William Patrick for that fella, Lily and Josephine, William Patrick III, brother Paul Virgil, my mother, Mary Kathleen, and Edward Michael. Here we have a fond farewell at this time, and we visit the grave of William Patrick O'Connor, Lily Mary, and their son William Patrick, and the infant Terence James, and they're buried in the Catholic section at Rookwood Cemetery here in Sydney. And when Mum and Dad were alive and lived reasonably close to the cemetery, they took very good care of the plot. It's a double plot, and it was purchased back in 1921 because they had to bury the little one somewhere, so they decided to buy the plot for the family, as they had a son who was not married. So that's where we have to leave the O'Connors in Australia, to be quite honest, because from this particular branch of the family, there are no more O'Connors. That's it. They're finished. There was a boy to Michael, Edward Michael, a son Paul, but he had a daughter out of marriage, out of wedlock, and of course Paul died in his early 40s. So basically the branch of the family has petered out. There just are no more descendants of Lily Mary and William Patrick. Men, carrying the O'Connor name on forward. There's plenty of grandkids, great-grandkids, there's heaps of them, but they don't bear the name O'Connor.